Welcome to this week's episode of Build Value by Choice. I'm your host, Nana Bonsu from Infinite Horizons Incorporated. This week, we are going to be talking about retargeting. Our guest appeared on the previous episode where we talked about video marketing. And as part of the 1-year anniversary of this show's launch, we are going to be giving away some free gifts. And Greg Gorshon, our guest today, has actually been very kind and gracious enough to offer some of his freebies. So for the folks that are able to listen to this through to the end, Greg is going to have a special offer for you. So stay seated, stay tuned in, and we will get you squared away. Before I dive into questions with Greg, I want to read a little bit about Greg's background in case folks didn't listen to the previous episode where we talked about video marketing. Greg established G2 Internet Solutions in 2013 after 20 years in the IT and internet space. The agency has grown and worked with small businesses and Fortune 500 companies. His expertise is in digital marketing with a specialization in reputation and video marketing, conversion, and business consulting. Greg's determination, energy, and his passion for helping businesses continue to drive the growth behind G2 Internet Solutions and online video. Welcome back again to Build Value by Choice, Greg.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me. Happy to be here.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, we had a great conversation the last time, and we decided that this was a natural follow-up to that episode, and which is retargeting. So if you can kick us off by explaining to us what retargeting is.
Absolutely. Hey, thanks for having me back, man. I love your podcast, man. You're doing some great work over there. And so we focus over here on the things that matter the most, right? What's important? What are people looking at? Reputation, reviews, videos, and traffic. So retargeting is part of kind of like the idea of traffic and website visitors. And you guys may know it as remarketing. You may go, what is Greg talking about? Well, you have surely been retargeted. So if you've ever gone to Amazon and looked for those headphones, or went to Staples and looked for that printer, and then you went out on the web and you saw ads for that printer, you saw ads for those headphones because you looked at them, well, that's retargeting. Okay. And so that in its simplest form. Now, it used to be just a game for the big guys, but not anymore.
I love the story where the Davies are given a chance because of the technology and leveling the playing field. It's such a big motivator, and I know that's also a passion for yours as well. So this sounds to me that sometimes it's a question of timing. You may not be ready to purchase something at this time, but maybe sometime down the line you may be ready. So retargeting is they kind of follow you along a certain path, a certain journey. You've come into the world of, so whether it's Amazon or whether it's a plumbing company, and maybe at the time you didn't need plumbing, but somewhere along the lines, because you clicked on something, it will keep showing up in your feed until such time as one day maybe you have a plumbing issue, you go online to look for something, and this thing pops up, and all of a sudden, boom, the opportunity and the time you meet, and then you get somebody visiting your site, or you get a lead out of that. Is that a principle behind this?
That is a absolute fine example. And so there's a couple things I want to unwrap in that thing. And so to say, like, how does this work, right? So you got a prospect, okay? They visit your website. When they do that, you have this thing called a pixel, which is in the browser, which is basically like a cookie, and you can't even hardly serve with that. Things that, remember your password, all this is very much just a part of surfing today. And then after you leave, and the smart companies are doing this because the truth is that 96% of the people leave your website without contacting you. They don't buy, they don't opt in, they don't subscribe, they don't do anything. And then what you can do is then you can target them in retargeting, and these ads will follow your prospect as they visit other sites. And so that's the simple explanation. And then the other thing that you kind of mentioned in there is how the smart companies are doing that to follow them around and to stay top of mind and to be in front of them.
And how can businesses use, that have not tried this before? What is the process? How did they get started? Did they contact an agency, or how can they use retargeting to their benefit?
Well, yeah, we're one of many out there, and we have a really affordable solution. Not that this is pitching you guys, we're delivering value here today, but in full transparency, we do this. It's as low as a postcard to get started. And so there's lots of ways to do it. If we were talking about, picking somebody, you'd want to get an agency that has the strategy, right?
Mhm.
Has the ads. So here's another part of it, is that you have to do all these creatives, like these ads, these beautiful pictures and text and buttons. That all needs to be created. There's campaign management, right?
Mhm.
There's the system for managing the campaigns. There's the bidding. So all of this stuff is really often something that the business knows they want and they outsource.
And what are some of the best practices, for retargeting?
Well, get started. So so for us, for example, and maybe some other places, also, even if you're not ready to pull the trigger on an advertising campaign, what you can do is you can acquire the pixel, right? It's a little piece of code, goes on your website. It's transparent to everybody. Anyway, you start building these audience, right? What's the audience? Well, the audience is this pixel list, right? So pixel list becomes very important. Like, you have an email list, right? You have your social follower list. Well, a pixel list is another important thing for an intelligent, comprehensive marketing strategy. And so these are the people that visited your site and then left. Now, we don't know who they are. This is not personally identifiable. And there's actually some things about privacy that have been happening in the marketplace with this kind of stuff. But like, say, for example, we've got an attorney out of Houston, right? And they're not really ready yet. But we're like, look, why don't we just get the pixel and we start building our audience, so that the day that you say, yes, I want to do it, we don't start gathering then, right? We already have a built-in thing. So that would be a best practice. Like, even if you're not ready, like, get that list. So now for those guys, we've got 2,000 people that if they go, oh, you know what, now we're ready. Good. Now we have already an audience. So the best practice is to start doing it. And to be fair, you can do there's other pixels in the world, like Facebook has a retargeting pixel, right? So you can use this, and LinkedIn, I think, even has some retargeting stuff. So the idea is big. What we do is go out in the display ad network, right? So that's where we get all these places show ads. You might know them as banner ads, right? But they're everywhere. They're on weather.com and Fox and CNN and all kinds of places. So the ones that are at the top, maybe they're on the side, maybe they're boxes. You see them on your phone. We optimize ad sizes that go on phones. There's 23 ad sizes for a comprehensive plan, because, right, some of them are tall and skinny, some of them are short and wide, some are square. They're optimally sized for when they're placed.
Yeah, so anywhere there ads, no chances that there's a pixel involved there. Now, one of the things, just for, like, some basic kind of things in terms of jargon and terminology, a lot of people may be familiar with pixel in terms of, like, pictures, like, pixels in the picture, like, my camera or my iPhone or my smartphone has some pixel that the camera is, has pixel perfect pictures, or like even like dashboards, pixel perfect dashboards. How is that, context different from the pixel that you're referring to when it comes to retargeting?
Thank you. Great question. Because I get this all the time. Like, I'm highly technical, skilled in the art. So this is normal words for me, but it's jargony, right?
Right.
And we say traffic, like traffic, oh, like the freeway. No, so we have all these kind of these things, and so the other way to say that is like a cookie, right? So people know like they have cookies when they browse, right? So I go to a website and I don't have to type in my password. Well, it remembered me because there's a cookie that was dropped in my browser. So Pixel's just the industry jargon, if you will.
And are there any downsides to retargeting?
Ooh, yeah. Not that I know of. Some people would say, I hate display ads, but they're paying for these sites, right?
Mhm.
The weather sites, the news sites, the sports sites, they all have ads on there. And so people are like, I don't like ads, but they work, right? And so we think that not only are there probably not any downsides, but there's an absolute opportunity cost by not doing it, right? So here you go. You did whatever you did to get traffic to your site, right? Traffic's the lifeblood, on the internet. So you either your own time, your own minutes, you paid, for social or networking or ads, right? Paid ads. And so you got people to your site, and now they left. Like in high numbers, like 96% of the people don't contact you on your page. So then you go get more attention. Well, what about those people you just got? Say, for example, these other people that we're working with are like, oh, we spend, $2,000 a month on AdWords, and you're not retargeting. Well, you guys are crazy, right? So you spend $2,000 a month, you drive all these people to your site, and you don't do anything with them. And then you go, oh, next month, let's pay for more people to get to our site and let them go. Let's do this. Real life example. Somebody comes over to your office and you sit down with them for a while and then they leave. Well, do you let them go without a way to follow up with them? Heck
No.
no. There's somebody, you got them there, right? So you're doing it every day online, like by not doing this. And so,
Right.
especially if you're paying for ads, right? So these guys, they're going, well, yeah, you're right, man. We need to start doing this, but people are paying either with their own time, or their own hourly wage, or they're paying a social media company, they're paying for ads, they're TV ads, print ads, billboards, direct mailers, we partner with some of these other people, right? Like you're doing this stuff to get people to your site and you're letting them walk away.
Yeah, so I guess maybe one way to use like latent language is just to follow up. So
It
so
is.
yeah.
Yeah. And so can we dig a little bit more into a smart way to do this?
Yes, absolutely. Let's
So
do it.
you've heard me say this before, right? The traffic story, right?
Hmm.
In the traffic story is like all of these people come to your site, right? And then they leave. And if you're smart, you have this little thing where you drop the cookie, the browser, trick, so we can target them later. Now, here's the problem. Every visitor is a potential buyer, from today to, 90 days from now. Like your plumbing example, right? And there's no way of knowing who is who, but here's what we do know. They generally fit in like one of three categories. So they're looking for a good deal, right? And so I'm going to pair this with our solution or just a smart solution. Well, then you should run like an offer ad, right? Or it just happens all the time. They're looking for a reputable company, right? So then we would show reputation ads, like, oh, this is the best dentist ever, right? Best plumber ever, to stay on track. Or the third thing, they might have been looking for a specific product or service. So, they came to your plumbing site, but you didn't say, water heater replacement, right? Or they came to your dentist site and you didn't say teeth white. And so in that case, then you would do, like a branding ad, right? You talk about the different things that you do. Now, a good strategy, and frankly, one of ours, but we think it's a differentiator, is that you could and should, we call ours a 10X, but basically you mix up your ads, right? And then you show in these different ads to these different people. You're showing these different kinds of ads to the audience because one of them is gonna, or more, might push their button, right? They were looking for a deal. Oh, they were looking for the water heater. Oh, they were looking for a trusty plumber. And so what happens when you switch up your messaging, you also get rid of banner blindness. And I'm going to tell you, man, like I'm online all the time. I surf, I shop, right? And I see even the biggest guys out there just run the same ad, like TripAdvisor. They'll always have the same ad. Like you end up not seeing it after a while.
Yeah, your eyes automatically skip it, I guess, when something in your brain just kind of skips it automatically because you've
Yeah,
seen it
and
many times. Yeah.
there's another. Can I keep going for? So the
Yeah.
neat thing about these kind of ads too, there's other kind of ads, right? People know like pay-per-click ads, like the text ads, on the top of a Google search.
Mm-hmm.
Well, those are only text. The neat thing about like these retargeting ads is that they're banner ads, right? So you've got colors, you've got logos, you've got branding. So when you start thinking about, being in front of people, making impressions, staying top of mind, brand recognition, they would see, the blues and the whites and the infinity sign, infinity horizons, they'd be all of a sudden, it would see some consistency with you, right?
Yeah. What other mistakes do you see businesses make when it comes to retargeting?
Well, those are some of the good ones. Using the same, not doing it, using the same ads. And there's actually some smart things that you can do when you're retargeting. And I'm actually looking over the side of a little ebook, a little teaser here, right? So
Right.
you can do things for basically the first thing is just like the visitor retargeting, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you could also do abandon retargeting. So if somebody got to your shopping cart
Mm-hmm.
and then they left, you
Right.
could actually have a specific audience, again, not jargon, the people, the browsers that went to your cart and then left.
Yeah.
And again, I think virtually every person who shops these days has seen this, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
all of a sudden,
Yeah. Hey, we noticed
hey,
that you left your card. Anything we can do to help or
right,
with it, something like that. It's like, hey, how did you know I was anyway?
right. And you might have even given, an email by then. But so this is kind of cold, unknown stuff, but it could be other ways too. So one mistake that people do was staying with our plumber, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he could have, commercial and residential. Well, you could have specific campaign images, like offer, reputation, branding, based on what if they were commercial or residential. So some people miss that, like they came to your site, you're just sending them everything about your site. Well, actually, it's off message to send the commercial guy the residential,
Yeah.
pitch, ad, right? So the idea is that if they visited a particular page or product, then you can go talk about that in the follow-up. And that's some things that people don't always do.
And what are some of the ways that businesses can overcome or prevent or avoid these mistakes?
Well, it goes back to, having the right strategy. And that's one of the things that we do. I got my branding behind me, so we have this strategic plan, right? So, um, knowing these choices, right? And some of this is actually, offered in we share some of this information. Look, I love to teach. I love to serve. We're always giving and leading with value. And so we like to, help educate people. And even if they don't work with us, like get value, out of the presentation. Hopefully that, you're better off than when you started listening today. You have some things to take away with us or any provider. I would say, start doing it.
Yeah. What are some examples of effective retargeted ads that you've seen? I know you've seen quite a bit, but any particular ones that stand out for you?
Yeah, I love your questions, man. That's a great thing about your podcast. Um, so for us, ironically, our highest converting ads are in a lot of these categories, right? So offer ads, right? So
Mhm.
a tire sale, a percentage off, something like that. Um, the branding, making sure that you're showing the different things that you do, right? And and to answer your question, one of the highest converting ads that we have are simply ads that show your 5-star reviews, because we know this. People in their decision-making process are kind of checking you out, right? Um, they want to know that you've taken good care of other people, right? And these reviews are the word of mouth. These reviews are the social proof, right? And
Mhm.
so that they're some of our top ads.
Where do you see the future of retargeting going?
Ooh, I knew you were going to ask that. Um, to be honest, there's a little bit of influx going on with this around privacy. So
Mhm.
even though these pixels are anonymous, there's like we're at real high level. We're 30,000 square feet looking at the marketplace and the trends, and they would call some places would do. Apple's made a little bit of move away from it. Google has talked about not allowing this functionality. Now that meter that end date milestone has been moved. It's now like into 2024.
Okay.
So we have still some good time to get in there and do this. One of the amazing things about this is like, you know, you can get started and you can see results within 48 hours. So if anybody's thinking like, oh, it's all going to change and go away, there's still a lot of time left to take advantage of it. And if I was going to look at my crystal ball, Google makes the lion's share of its money from ads, right? So
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
going to do, there's going to be some kind of mechanism available to marketers when this transition, when, if it happens, right?
Right.
There's a lot of runway left here, to get in and take advantage and not lose 96% of your visitors.
Yeah, that's the thing. I know like, these media companies keep changing algorithms and, they keep, some folks, depending on what kind of business you have, some folks' business have been, badly affected. Um, it will be kind of curious to see how they can, if ads is their primary form of generating revenue, how they're going to do retargeting without, while trying to get around these so-called privacy concerns and privacy issues.
The talks are interest based things, and that's the one way little sidebar from the retargeting thing. So once you got all these ads, you can do other stuff with them. You can do cold ads, so you would put your ads, so you already have this creative created, right? ads, beautiful images, and then you could put those in front of people. So like, the landscaping company could go out on like the home and garden websites, right? So you target people by interest.
Right.
And that's some of the ways they've talked about
Mm-hmm.
this thing, changing in the future. It's also low hanging fruit right now. Like people, you can see what interests there are, and I don't know. It's scary, man. With this big data, I don't know if it's too late to turn this ship with just how
Yeah,
darn
that thing has
much.
sailed, I think.
If you're actually using the internet and doing stuff, what kind of people know about you, right?
Yeah. Um, yeah, the other thing I was thinking about was maybe some form of opt-in. Maybe they may be thinking of, hey, if somebody wants to opt in to be retargeted or to be quote unquote not necessarily retargeted, but maybe to be reminded, or at least an interest. I mean, one way is for people to opt into certain interests, like what are you interested in, and based on their pick, that can then be used as an opportunity or as a quote unquote permission.
Well, we would love that. That's actually one of the short list of things we try to get them to do, right? To get them
Right.
to opt in, to get them to sign up, but that's still in that single digit percentage. And so yeah, we really want them to do that. And so the rub is that these are basically like third party cookies, right? So the stuff you're talking about, like this site to user interaction, would be like first party. It's like me to you,
Right.
site to visitor permissions.
Yeah. So the bottom line is that, hey, we have a retargeting piece for itself is residual follow-up. It definitely is a no-brainer as far as boosting sales. But you have a short window, like maybe 24 months tops, to get in and take advantage before that algorithm flips, and who knows how that's going to work out. Is that a good takeaway from this?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a great thing for a long time, and much like direct mail, and spam and other things, I think it's hated by some of the marketplace. But I think these ads are probably less bothersome, than spammers than they are to me.
Yeah.
But they do work, right? So what a business hat on, we're like, well, this is an amazing way to not let 96% of the people go away.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that's the scary fact, right? It's like, whoa, you're missing out on 96% of potential converts. And yeah, so
So the other part to this, and then we'll wrap up. And if you don't mind, I'll share some of my free gifts
yeah,
now.
yep,
Do all you can to get that conversion, right? Like
yeah,
optimize your website to, get the call, get the click, get the purchase, have something of value, right? So
hmm
I've been online since like, early 2000s, and we didn't have anything back then. We had social. All we basically had, oh, well, here's your, free report on, 3 things to know about plumbing, and then people would trade like their email address, right? And so still a thing. In fact, that's one of the gifts I have,
yep,
is a free report all about this website traffic, how to capture them and turn them into new customers, stop losing them to your competition, how to boost your conversions. And so that is available at onepagefunnel.com.
onepagefunnels.com. Yep.
And then I'm going to add a little slash website traffic report. And I think we can add links in the descriptions.
Yeah, in the show notes, yes, that's correct.
Yeah. And so that's our free ebook, right? Our guide.
Right.
Show you a lot of this stuff. A lot of stuff I talked about here today is in there. And then don't answer yet. Here we go. One more offer. There's a shorter one. This is a URL straight to it. It's called webretargeting.com.
Okay.
Now, webretargeting.com is a website that talks about this, right? It has
Mhm.
some stats. It talks about the retargeting. It talks about the facts. There's some case studies on there. But here's the cool part. We're going to give you, create for you, do the work, cover the cost of a highly converting banner ad for you.
That's
All the
fantastic.
listeners here on the podcast today.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's great. Thanks again for sharing that, and I know our listeners will benefit from it. That's one of the things that we do. We're trying to bring different cool things for our listeners. So thanks for that. I know people are going to enjoy it. How can people get in contact with you, follow up with your work? Clearly, you're highly recommended. And so how do people get in contact with you and get to work with
Yeah,
you if they want to?
at the risk of breaking my own rules and having different calls to actions. So I've been doing this a long time. So we have so many specialty websites.
Right.
But I got to tell you, today what we're using is this one up here.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the agency site. We do
By the way, for
more.
people that may be listening and not watching, it's mappingyourmarketing.com.
Oh,
So
thank you.
there you go. Go ahead, Greg.
No, that's it.
Yeah.
Mappingyourmarketing.com. So that's the kind of a blueprint. And you can see, if you're looking, you can see like this blurred out kind of map behind me. And traffic is one of the big things to be doing online. And retargeting is, if you're spending money to get traffic and you're letting them go, well, what are you doing? Like, take advantage of this.
Right.
And get it going with me, with somebody else. Read the book, so we have, do it yourself, done with you, done for you. Don't use me, go do it. Grow your business, succeed, right?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that's at the end of the day, that's all it is, right? Getting leads, getting customers every day. That's the business. So this is extremely important. Well, thank you so much, Greg. We appreciate your time that you spent with us. And for everybody, that's it for this week. We're going to have the links in the show notes. Go ahead and check them out and enjoy the gifts. Thanks, Greg.
Thank you.